you know, he still obviously showed up, right? Because at the end of the day, if he really didn't want to play, he just wouldn't have shown up, right? You know, he just would have said, no, look, I'm just not going to play. So he still took the time to show up and play some games. Obviously, they just weren't super pretty games. So he still tried. Anyways, let's go into this. To the top left-hand side, our Blue Protoss player here is Dia. There's the bottom right-hand side, our Red Terran player. It's GuMiho. So, a final matchup between these two. The first best of 3 between these two was pretty underwhelming to say. To say the least, I mean, it was just pretty one-sided in favor of Dia. Both times GuMiho aggression getting shut down, and yeah, Dia really did just kill it. This is the first series of our day. A few of you probably missed it, but I wouldn't say it's one you should rewind and you must watch, because definitely, absolutely, it was, again, very one-sided in general. So, gonna see the probe coming into the main base. Thing is as well, guys, like, you're still discussing Trapped and that you should have replaced him and stuff. He still had an invite to the tournament, right? He has a right to come and play if he wants to. He has a right to try. Who knows, you know, some days you get some good build orders, things go kind of right for you, and the next thing you know, you make it through the group anyways, you know. Then of course you got your round of 8 next week, and you can prepare for that after GSL. So, you know, I don't think it's a case of you just don't show up if you've earned your invite or whatever, right? So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to stop discussing it. You guys discuss as you wish, but I think it's silly to blame Trap or anything like that. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. And this happens all the time. Players have big matches coming up, and then they're still in online tournaments that they weren't expecting to overlap and stuff. Let's see if he gets picked off as the Stalker comes through. Let's see if he gets picked off as well. Obviously, pretty good damage being dealt here. There's Proxy's Gateway from DM means it's a lot of pressure as the Nexus now comes up behind it. Widowmine will force one of these units to die though if they want to keep pressuring up that ramp, so GuMiho, what he did here early on, as we didn't talk much about the game, was he scouted and he saw no Nexus. Just now, he's found that gateway, so he knows where it is. But that's why he decided to go one basing it here, basically. So GuMiho kind of knew what was coming, and I feel like he's responding okay. Obviously, doesn't have an expansion yet, but we'll see what he can do with this aggression in the next few moments. Medevac on the way out, as we are going to be seeing the Reaper of GuMiho just still trying to prod and poke around. He has picked up a probe kill with that Reaper, so not bad. And sorry, the observant was a bit lax here early on because I was talking to you guys in the chat. Oracle now on the way up from Dia. Gonna get Chrono boosted, another gateway dropping down. Siege Tank from GuMiho too obviously allows him to kind of break out of here a little bit more easily. Marine's going to move down a little bit ahead of time, loses one right away. 3 Stalkers pick up another. There's the tank, and again, definitely allows you to move down here more easily. Gets a Stalker kill as well, that's nice. And with the Widowmines heading across the map in the Medevac, that's going to be our next point of aggression from the Terran, who does now begin to expand and throws down a cloak for the Banshees. There's a follow-up here as well, so that's coming up as well. Reaper on the natural, going to try and distract a little bit. Try and make Dia not pay attention, but Dia's too good for that, and that is going to be the 2 probes. 3 in the end picked off just because he got this one that popped out the Assimilator. There should be a boost and a save on the Widowmines as well, so he can maybe come back with those at a later point, although Medevac took a bit of damage, so it's going to be tough to get it in there alive. Across the map, the Oracle shows up and gets 3 kills in return though, so It's not bad. Gets a Marine too. Has taken a fair amount of damage, right? It's not super high on health, and Pulsar Beam's still active, so we'll get the CC building SCV as well to make that 4. Resonating Glaives on the way up in the main base. Going to see a few more Stalkers and Adepts coming down the natural. Banshee on the way out, about halfway done. Tank coming through. Man, the Oracle comes in again, gets another SCV kill. That's really crazy. A really sick job of this so far. Really good aggression as our army continues up to the upper left hand side. Adepts and Stalkers gather together here for Deer. Resonating Glaives is about halfway done from Deer as well. Well, there's a pretty strong army. There's the... I mean, is there actually any detection on the map? Just the 2 Oracles, so really needs that full revelation here. One of those to come back home. This one does have the energy. With 2 Oracles, it's very nice because you should always have a revelation as extra Banshees show up. I cursed it. Now, you know, it was very nice to have 2 Oracles. Now it's not as nice because there's only 1. But it looks like GuMiho's going to back away as well. He's still building Banshees, which says to me that he's probably looking to play something maybe very mech-focused once again. No gases on the natural just yet, though. Only 30 SCVs in place. I may just not feel he can afford that as his pylon will go down. That's actually a supply block right there. It's actually a pretty hefty supply block too. No pylon in production. Yeah, a really big supply block as 2 Banshees at once in the main. Shield battery is not going to be enough to protect here, and that is going to be a good revelation. Hits both of the Banshees at once, and Banshees will just obviously sacrifice themselves to get as much damage done as possible. 8 probes is really nice though. As we actually see, ooh, these Adepts have been caught a bit out of position. Or has the Terran army been caught out of position? It's a bit hard to say. And initially it looked like those Adepts were in trouble, but now the tanks obviously are struggling a little bit. Some nice lift micro on the tanks to try and make this work out. Oh my god, the lift micro is actually godlike until close to the end. Now the Oracle shows up to clean up the last couple of tanks. What a massacre on both sides. The only units that survived that are 2 Phoenix and an Oracle. That is actually just a massacre on both sides, and obviously both players have come towards a pretty even work count now. Can GuMiho recover enough to kind of deal with this now? Actually kills off the Oracle. There is still some more lifts available, so again, that's what's going to make this tough for the next few moments. Where are the next Banshees, by the way? One up the right-hand side. I mean, the Oracles are now dead. There's still no Robo facility, so actually continued Cloak Banshees really are a problem here. If you guys second Banshee up to this top side, you cloak it up. I mean, those probes are going to die. Obviously, right now, the Banshee on its own will not do too much because a shield battery will do a good amount of healing. Robo starts now. That Banshee is going to cloak just in time, but that's a lot of wasted energy it would rather have to obviously use across the map. Banshee's still just picking away a few probes here and there so far. New Oracle on the way, realizing that Banshees are still being made. GuMiho really relying on these then to get some damage done, as he has been in a bit of trouble himself. Sentries, I mean, they can just run towards the shield battery, so again, not much a Banshee can do on its own. That's why I was kind of excited about the second Banshee coming in at the same time, but that won't happen. Maybe with this next Banshee, but of course by then we do have Robo facility up, Observer production available, etc, etc. Excuse me guys, sorry. I don't have an easy way to mute my mic for when I cough at the moment with this setup, so I do apologize. Well, there's the extra factories we were kind of somewhat expecting here. Again, just the first game between Dia and GuMiho in this deciding match now, a rematch from earlier in the day. And a bit more of a fight going on than what we had in the earlier match between Dia and GuMiho as well. Again, the earlier games really were very much so dominated by Dia early on, and really did go very one-sidedly, I would say, as this SCV gets picked up. A few more SCVs going down. Cyclone's able to get some kills as well. Oh, get some damage done, I should say. Banshee's seen by the observers, but actually going to get... Oh my god, please get that other sentry. Yes, 2 sentries and the probes. I mean, obviously not bad. Getting the sentries really makes a bit of a difference there. If it was just the probes, it's sad that the Banshees go down, but getting the sentries too, and something I can get behind it. You actually see a 4 on the way out. think the Four's intention is to try and help out against the Phoenix, perhaps? Obviously, Phoenix can't lift Fours. Phoenix through the bottom side. Just going to see the second Banshee join up on the natural. Another SCV, Mule going down. Missile turret dealing quite a bit of damage as well. With Phoenix picked off, SCV still dropping. So there's quite a few SCVs killed. Again, those Phoenix putting in the work. GuMiho's mech building up. 2 Banshees going across the map. Well, Dia's going to throw down the fleet beacon. He's going to attempt to go into carriers here, most likely. There's GuMiho. We'll see what he can bring to the table now against this in the next few moments. Again, Phoenix is flying around up on the top. The probes moving around as well. Smart servos on the way up on that factory too. I mean, all the upgrades just that you expect. It's been a really weird, aggressive game, but obviously kind of sitting back and setting up for a few moments now. Just a little bit of build-up at this stage. Phoenix still gathered up at the top. We're going to have a bit of a fight here as GuMiho is pushing forwards. The first carriers are out though, and there isn't too much anti-air available. Mostly those couple of 4s and a few Cyclones brought into play as well. Just going to be seeing those Phoenix continue to go down. Oracle gets picked off as well. Those 4s are still surviving for the moment. I tell you what, there's not many interceptors left, but the Zealots warping in seem like they're going to deal with the rest of the ground army. It feels like GuMiho is going to be a bit defeated here once again. That Phoenix is chasing the medevacs. Oh my god, the Stalker's blowing through. The medevacs getting picked off here. New medevacs show up, but there's just so many Zealots on the ground anyways. GuMiho's obviously just going to keep on running. Warp Prism here, so reinforcements available. The carriers are still showing up, and obviously they're going to have enough interceptors now. And without the force to splash down interceptors, I don't know what is really going to try and kill those interceptors off at all. It's going to get a little bit tough. And we're going to be seeing Cyclones are doing their best to micro this back here and kite away. So that's a little bit caught up on the wall off at the moment as, man, those Immortals are going to chunk their way through the Cyclones if they can get on top of them. And again, it's those interceptors. GG called from GuMiho. Dia picks up a first map here. And you can really relate to King's Cove quite a bit. Very, one entrance to defend for 3 braces. Obviously, King's Cove has 2. So it is, again, that kind of friendly macro style. So what does GuMiho do here? Is he just going to try and, play a mech style off of a very easy 3-4 bases? Is that going to work? Because Dia really seems to have a way to deal with that. And then again, I guess GuMiho keeps attacking with that mech style, and he ends up continuing to attack into carriers. Maybe that's the issue. If he just sits back, he can find a way to deal with carriers. But then, of course, there is more carriers coming up, and that alone could be a bit of a problem. Thank you so much, Not Fun, for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the family. Appreciate the Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Deer in the bottom right-hand side. GuMiho in the top left. In this PvT best of 3 game number 2. Probe here from Dia going to be coming through the center and heading to the top left-hand side of this. Looking to see what's going to go down. Reaper on the way up at the moment from GuMiho. As you do see the SCV and the probe having a little bit of back and forth at the moment, so nothing too crazy. What on earth has happened on my notification thing? I just don't know what it's doing today. It's really just been dumb. Not gonna lie. There we go. That should maybe hopefully fix it. Sorry guys, don't know how long it's been like that again. I only have a single screen to work with, so there's gonna be a few oddities and stuff there. Wardy, why did you go to Korea? Because I fancied coming on vacation. And here I am. Spending my time with you guys, because that's the best kind of vacation. Stargate the choice from Dia this game. I mean, the Stargate worked well. It's nice to have available already because just the way GuMiho plays, Stargate shuts down a lot of what he tries to do. But even on top of that, I mean, it just means the Stargate's already there for later, and if GuMiho plays mech again, boom, you can already get that transition through into carriers, etc., and make something happen from there. For example, as this Reaper is looking for a probe and does get it again. He's been very good with this Reaper so far today. He's had a lot of success killing probes. So GuMiho should be pretty content with this so far, as that Adept does force the Reaper down to the low ground. And the Oracle now on the way up from Dia, getting that ready to go. So an Oracle on the way out across the map, and Adept does find an SCV. And it does shade away as well. The Reaper can intercept. Reaper grenade was not perfectly placed, but it doesn't really matter. The Reaper alone can outrange the Adept and will be able to make that kill. So there's going to be the Adept cleaned up, and now Reaper, Hellion, and Marauder in the center of the map. I mean, there's no upgrades here. There's no concussive shells. It looks like the tech lab has been taken over by the factory now, and a Cyclone on the way. So yeah, kind of an odd set of units, but moving forwards to be aggressive. Obviously runs into the Oracle. Oracle does pop Pulsar Beam to kill the Marauder, but at the same time, again, it now means that the Oracle doesn't have energy, or as much energy, to harass across the map. So that's something GuMiho doesn't have to worry about as much. He's currently sending his Reaper towards the main base. Has to come around this side, as that's a full wall off here with a single pylon. Someone brought this up on the Twitter the other day, one of the pro players. They're like, why has it become a thing that we can block Reaper wall off paths with a single pylon or a single supply depot? It's really silly, because why even make it a Reaper jump up cliff in the first place if all it's going to take is one pylon to block it? And there's a bit of a discussion, and I seem to agree it's something like, you know, for like Automaton, for example, is a good example, because you have to build like your entire like gate, core, pylon there to be able to wall it off early to deny a Reaper. And that obviously is quite an investment, because then that's actually positioned in a way you can maybe abuse it and pick it off, for example. It's true though, I mean, you never used to be able to, I mean, walling off Reaper jump up spots was never really a thing, but they were obviously a lot more common in general. There was a lot more space for Reapers usually, and well, now, I mean, you know, we've got a lot of these maps that's like, hey, here's your Reaper jump up spot. It's 1x wide, and you know, if you pop a pylon there, it's absolutely useless. It's kind of a weird thing that's just arisen from maps lately. I'm just gonna be seeing a couple of Phoenix getting ready to go. Oh, you know what? Sorry guys. Like I said, this thing is just being a bitch. There we go. Got rid of it. Two-minute delay, so like I said, I only have a single screen, so I can't see when things mess up. We've gotten rid of the donation thing, so sorry for that. It'll be done in, obviously it's done now, but it's a 2-minute delay, so couldn't fix it any faster. Alright, well, 2 Phoenix and an Oracle are heading back across the map. GuMiho is already setting up to a 3rd CC, so both players are kind of just very happy to go up to 3 bases this time around. Nice and easy, no real problems at all so far. There's that turret, gonna get quite a bit of damage done on that Oracle there, so that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Good little deflection out of GuMiho. Cyclone gets caught out on the other side of the map. Banshee now showing up though, and there's no shield batteries in place, so maybe GuMiho can finally get some damage done. Wastes a shot on a probe that goes into the assimilator. And Nice response from the Phoenix and the Oracle. Only 4 kills. One more factories at home from GuMiho. He's still pretty dedicated to this mech style. He's still believing in it. This time, Dia's going to go into Colossus, so it's a very different way of him dealing with this. He has not gotten that observer into the main. He's just going to sit at the front. I think he's probably fairly aware of what GuMiho is going for, though, so I don't think he feels much need to risk the observer into the main base. The Warp Prism comes through. Does not really do too much. A few adepts get a few SCVs. Again, a good hallucination. Just again, keep on scouting. Just going to be seeing that blink about to finish. Charge starting up as well. 6 more gates coming into play. Fleet Beacon and the Stargate dropping down also. I mean, it's again just how Dia's been playing these versus mech games, where you go into that fast Fleet Beacon, you start getting carriers already, and I mean, at that point GuMiho seems to attack into him, and then the carriers just sort of hold. That's kind of how this has gone so far. More siege tanks on the way up. Infernal Pre-Igniter coming through as well. Gonna be building Tempest this time. Bit of a different composition altogether from Dia here then. Rather than carriers going Tempest. Tempest do build a bit faster, but obviously they kind of attack a lot slower than carriers will. So you're looking at really kind of holding this army off and picking away at it more so than taking a straight up fight almost. Because if GuMiho gets underneath those Tempests, those Cyclones lock on, those Tempests are gonna die. Especially with Magfield Accelerator coming through. And he's building a good amount of Cyclones here as well as Dia. Positions up on the high ground. Good force fields initially, gets a few units from it. Tanks will siege. But Dia's already backing away. He's just trying to buy some time. That, however, is very narrowly a dead Colossus. He turns it away just at the right moment. Hyperflight Rotor Banshees moving around the map. GuMiho using these to harass. More Tempest coming in. Zealots up on the top, taking some damage as well. Still these Banshees coming through and just being used to help defend. I mean, pretty good defense all around as GuMiho gets up to a 4th base in the front. And Dia really isn't skipping the beat though, is he? 5th base already down and finished. And that economy for Dia is pretty crazy. 81 probes in play. Obviously, that's why he's just able to afford so many Zealots to just throw at his opponent time and time again. Good revelation. Hits the Terran army, so those Tempests are now able to truly utilize their range. Cyclones locked on, Tempest back away. Fours are on the way out, another unit that can definitely help out with this, but look at that position for the Tempests. They're just finding so many free shots. It's a Cyclone, it's a Hellbat, there's potentially another Cyclone in a moment, although there's the lock-on! That's deadly for those Tempests, man. That's free, he just lost 3 Tempests because he stuck around too long. That's actually insane how good that lock-on is. Magfield Accelerator just makes them Cyclones so good at that, and it was again looking so good for Dia as well, right? It was definitely the right thing to be doing. He was picking up so many units. And your Stalker's on the way into shut down these Hellions as Dia just backs away in general, but with 81 probes he is able to rebuild pretty quick. Go into Storm now as well. I mean, Storm's always a good ability to have. And this Colossi gathering on the left side. Warp Prism lifts up 4 Zards, brings them up to the right. Things get rid of a Hellion pretty quick as Zealots come charging forwards. Meanwhile, another Rax just taking some damage on the right side here. Hellion's going to get picked off. And 2 more starports, 3 more starports dropping down. Really, GuMiho realizing the importance of maybe controlling the skies now, and obviously if he can get a good Viking count up, then maybe he can also get up into Liberators, and that'll help him also a lot on the ground armies. Yeah, still just posturing. As we have Zealots in the main base, Smart Service is going to be denied. Not the worst upgrade to lose, it's not super influential right away. Phoenix and the Oracle flying through there as well. Good revelation once more. Gets rid of a missile turret that I was building. So many 4s in the main to respond to this actually is kind of amusing. And we are going to be seeing the Cyclone counterattack. I mean, more Zealots warping in. Zealots are pretty good against the Cyclones really, just because they still are pretty tanky, and being able to charge into the Cyclones, they do close the gap and they get the kills pretty quick. This was a good shutdown. GuMiho lost a lot of Cyclones and didn't really get anything out of this. I think the Vikings going to jump on the Tempests, and that's one of the reasons Storm is going to become very important here, because with Storm you're going to be able to zone out those Vikings a lot more easily. That obviously goes a long way to help out as these 4s pressing down, going to find themselves a Phoenix. Two, 3, 4 SCVs dropping down dead. 5 workers. Again, it's just the workers always going down for the Terran play. It feels like our Protoss player is untouched here. What's up, MC? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, guys. You're watching what could be our last game of the day, though. And as Dio, if he can win this, close it out on Thunderbird, he'll advance through the group in 2nd place behind Sue. Here in the $10,000 Masters Coliseum number 5. That's a big warp in of Stalkers, and it is enough to well, pick off the Viking, although not before the Prism goes down. They'll get some SCV kills. Interesting he chooses Stalkers, maybe because, well, I want to say because the Banshees are here, but then he doesn't have any detection to kill the Banshees, so yeah, interesting choice. Maybe he just thought he could get Stalkers, kill the Viking, the Warp Prism would survive. Because it was pretty close, it was like 1 hit. It was a very close hit as well, so yeah, maybe it was something more to do with that than anything else. And this is a very dead 3rd base of GuMiho. Down 48 SCVs. He's really struggling to deal with this here. It's just going to be seeing some supply dealers being picked off. I mean, Dio's just really happy to pick up free damage whenever possible. Does lose a Tempest now though. Again, those Vikings coming forwards and no High Templar in range to defend. The ground army of GuMiho of Dio is pressed pretty far back, being very safe. 4 actually helps to pick up a Tempest kill there also. GuMiho is maxed out. Because GuMiho is maxed out on less workers, his army supply is absolutely terrifying. So Dia has a bank, but is he going to be able to put it into use? DT's in the main base. This is by a lot of Dia's supplies as well, so it's even less supply that's across the map kind of helping out, as we see Zealots and DT's currently picking their way through actual production structures now. I mean, factories going down would be huge. Even better to get rid of would be the starports perhaps. We're going to see BCs here teleporting back. The Tempests have forced those away pretty quickly. There's just not that much on the ground from Dia, but he's still kind of making it work. Mostly because GuMiho truly is just running out of money here. So it's still in the main base. They take so long to clean up. And with the length of time it takes to clean up, that really does hurt quite a bit. Colossus getting picked off there as well. Carriers have been building at home. I'm not sure if they've been joining the army. I think they've just been hanging back. We do have those joining in as well. Oh, these Stalkers in a little bit of trouble there for a moment. Scan comes down, and there's so many 4s in this. I'm really wondering what Dia does to clean this up, because he does have warp-ins available. So he can choose to warp in to help. And he kind of needs to, because he needs to spend that money ASAP. As GuMiho continues pressing down to the bottom right-hand side. Tanks and 4s going to go for that Nexus here on the... what is that, the 6th base? So that's actually a nice denial. So you've seen a couple of Banshees actually chasing units down here. Somehow that High Templar survives. And as the observer, these Banshees might be in some trouble now. The carriers just aren't doing anything. Their interceptors are going down so quickly. However, some Archons coming into the front lines will definitely help. A big storm drops. And the Archons are much tankier than what we've seen before. However, there's only 1 Tempest left in the skies. And again, Dia is always just not getting the job done. He is so close to making this work out. Now he's got a carrier move commanding forwards. More Zealots and Stalkers warping in. The problem is they're very low-tech units, but it's all Dia can warp in very quickly. And so I think GuMiho's army supply in a super all-in position. I mean, we're talking about a dead 4th base over here. Long-distance mining. his army supply might just win out in the end, as Dia I just don't think has a reliable way to deal with him. Obviously now Dia gets reset down to 3 bases because he loses this bottom left as well potentially. And at that point Dia is truly just in so much trouble. So he's got Stalkers and Zealots counter-attacking again. And even if you can just buy a bit of time, Carriers, Tempest, more Archons, GuMiho can't really rebuild easily. And that's the thing, if you can just get rid of this army. Oh my god, Yamato's coming through, so that's going to be a blown up carrier at least. One of the battle cruisers goes down at the same time. It's 92 to 61 army supply again. GuMiho cannot rebuild easily. A storm on top of Vikings, that's a big storm as well. Because as the Vikings go down, it does bring in more ability for the Tempest and the carriers to survive a bit longer. Interceptor's still building up. And across the map, he is shutting down production. Starport's dropping down. I mean, Starports are kind of the main units you're kind of looking at here at the moment so far from GuMiho. Some Stalker's going to go after some more of these SCVs. This is actually a really clutch base rate perhaps from Dia. He loses power to some of his gateways though, and that's going to be one of the big problems, the lack of production. Big storm on top of the 4s. Stalkers helping out where they can. The BCs fly in though. Now the Stalker's able to get rid of these BCs. Oh my god, if he gets rid of the BCs, that'd be amazing, but it's so tough. The BCs teleport away, so that's a wasted Stalker volley. And Archon finishes up. Now he's going to go for some 4s, but they're just dealing out so much damage as well. And he still has a few gates up and running. He still has a bit of money remaining. He still has this base mining down here, which is a huge help. Again, GuMiho is not really doing much himself. I tell you what, if these orbitals die, yeah. Obviously, DTs are going to become very good with the scans being extremely limited. There's an orbital. Okay, there's 2 orbitals in the main. There is more scans available for now. DTs are definitely not a bad idea. That's a nice pick off on a 4. Siege tank is setting up. He's going to blink for the tank. GuMiho is actually going to type out GG. Just isn't going to make enough happen with this army and knows that he's slowly getting picked